Keneal says, I really let myself believe in evil Jimmy. Me too. That was hilarious in retrospect. What was I thinking? Like, we haven't seen Jimmy Garoppolo for 6 years. That evil Jimmy was lurking. Right. Last Second Sports, my guy says Pettis and Craycraft have one more TD than Ayuk and Debo this season. Oh. Kyle is getting embarrassed. I think we're going to talk about Kyle next. I don't want to preview what I'm going to say yet. Love you, Jesse. Peyton Wisdom says, do you think Jimmy softly whispered, let's ride before winning this game for the Broncos? At least we had some pretty damn good Mitch moments. Who won this game for the Broncos? Jimmy or Russ? Who was the ultimate winner for the Broncos? Who was the MVP of the game? Was it Jimmy? Might have been Jimmy. Jonathan Chavez says, Juszczyk felt like 49er football sure was trash. Oh, I was waiting to throw that one back in his face. He shouldn't have said that. Felt like 49er football again? What the hell is 49er football? Losing games like this? 10 points? Remember when Trey Lance scored 10 points against Chicago and all the Jimmy Garoppolo supporters said that would never happen with Jimmy? When did Jimmy ever score 10 points in the game? What about that? King Liner says, who do you hold most accountable for the loss? Gotta hold the head coach accountable. I mean, yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo is terrible, but why is Jimmy Garoppolo still in the team? I mean, honestly, this team would be in better shape if they had anyone. If they had gone and gotten Matt Ryan this offseason, they'd been in better shape. Stuck with Jimmy Garoppolo in 2022, that's a joke. Seth Harvey says, don't mean to say I told you so, but I told you so. This is the quarterback y'all thought would do something. People don't understand we in for a long season. Yeah, I understand people thinking, Trey Lance might improve. He's got a chance, even though, we only saw like 4 games of Trey. There wasn't a whole lot to look at. There was a leap of faith there. A lot of people think Jimmy's going to improve. Based on what? He's had opportunities. He's old. He gets worse, not better. Will says, I think I know why Juice said it feels like Niners football now. It's because Jimmy will get Juice's one and only reception every season. Nice. Absolutely. I hear you on that. What an awful quote that was. Kevin Jones says, can you believe people were talking about winning the Super Bowl with Jimmy? Do these Jimmy stands actually think Mitty G can score against the Bills? Mitty G. I mean, I think that's really an insult to mid quarterbacks everywhere. This was an awful quarterback tonight. Nathan Flores says, hey, Jimmy Stans, what are you saying? So embarrassing. Spent $900 on tickets for this showing. Pathetic. Banana hands. Play calling. Hope D'Amico takes Nana job. Jimmy, we only been with them a week. BS. Jimmy is not accountable. Yeah, Jimmy came out quick with the excuses after the game. Said he doesn't feel like he's in game shape yet. Arm was sore. Dude, save it. I mean, I like you, but dude, stop making excuses. You're no good. Neither is Kyle. You're both been exposed. You both are on the hot seat. Gregory says Jimmy Garoppolo pooped the bed. Kyle Shanahan for going offensive lineman recruitment suffocated a shaky Jimmy Garoppolo. Meanwhile, in MIA, McDaniels is making Tua look like an MVP. Kyle Shanahan is overrated. How mad do you think Jed York is right now that he let the real star out of the building? So happy we got Niner football back, says Bunless Hot Dog. I also I didn't see counter bash tonight. My Kyle is a play designer and not a head coach. Yep. Some people have been saying that for years. It's interesting to see Kyle really prove them right. Antonio Smith said, what the hell was he thinking when he got to safety? The offensive line was terrible and the defense was good, but penalties hurt them. What was Jimmy Garoppolo thinking? That assumes he thinks on the field. Does he look like a quarterback who does a lot of thinking on the field? M. Niner says, I don't get it. Jimmy made so many rookie mistakes. His accuracy sucked. It was horrendous tonight. His safety was worse than Don Orlovsky. What if Trey Lance had played in this game and done all the stuff that Jimmy did? Can you imagine what people be saying about Trey Lance right now? But it's Jimmy, so people are like, oh. Irfan says, sure, Jimmy might have played like garbage, but at least his jawline cuts through the A-gap. Oh, that was phenomenal. Phenomenal comment. I can't believe some of those quotes from last week. T and K Hunting Gear says, I was at the game tonight. Debo was throwing better passes to the fans during warmups than what Jimmy accomplished in 4 quarters. Maybe if Jimmy would set his feet. CB Niner says, should we develop Brock this year and start him since the backup position is so important? I think that, I mean, how could he be worse than Jimmy was tonight? And Jimmy says he's not in game shape, so maybe, yeah. Will Kyle be so quick to say no to a Trey return? Is this team going to be in playoff contention by the time he returns? Trent Williams is hurt. Elijah Mitchell's hurt. I mean, where are they going to be? Nathan Flores says, Nanahan's offensive genius, 10 points in 4 quarters, pathetic. Travel from Texas for this defense played great. I'm so sorry you had to waste your time and your money. Aaron Thornhill says Cowherd better watch his mouth this week. Yeah, man, he better apologize, dude. What a dork. 808 Niners says to all Jimmy fans, what's the excuse now? He lost the game all by himself. He missed Debo for a TD in the second running. Wide open, underthrew Debo, bounced the throw off the DB. Where is Flav? Flav, we need to hear from you, man. Kevin Jones says there was a moment where I thought we could be seeing Jimmy from 2019 Saints game. Both of those past two games prove he hasn't improved. I don't think there ever was a moment where Jimmy was an elite quarterback. It was fool's gold. Lauren says Kyle Shanahan needs to hire an OC scoring 10 points a game. Yeah. Or the Niners need to hire an offense or a head coach. Lorenzo Pinto says, once again, Grant told y'all Jimmy ain't good enough. I said it. People thought I was being mean. Daryl says the national media pundits coming at you sideways look dumb now. McDaniels did more for this offense than we thought last year. Yeah, can you guys – I think I deserve a little credit for standing up to all the national pundits that have no idea what they're talking about and love Kyle Shanahan. Thomas Delacruz says, ridiculous that people are still defending Jimmy. It's clear they're not Niner fans. They're, in fact, Jimmy fans. They need to follow him on the way out. Well, where are they tonight? I don't see him. Flav, where you at? Isaiah Gill says, Jimmy and Kyle got to go. Yeah, that's the thing. We've all been trying to pick between them. Maybe it's both. Jimmy actually scored 12 points. That's true. He scored 10 for the offense and 2 for the other team, which sort of makes it like 8. You were right about 10 being Kyle's unlucky number. 10, 11. Funny how life is. Ricky says, Jimmy G looking prime Dan Orlovsky. Yeah, that's good. Gene J says, Niners should seriously consider trading for a quarterback so we don't waste his championship defense. We can't play Jimmy and waste 6. That's what I'm saying, man. There's got to be some other quarterback out there with a little bit more youth and talent than what they got in this team. Sam Darnold was a terrible suggestion, but you know what I'm talking. It's got to be someone. Digital Drew says, coach in year 6, quarterback in year 5, and we were moving backward. How do you not clean house now, especially with such a lack of accountability from both? I agree. They get worse. They never take actual accountability. Yep. Ryan says Jimmy has no leadership. It's always been we need to be better and never I need to be better. Yeah, and Kyle too. He'll say stuff like, oh, I made mistakes too. Okay, so what specifically? Matt Mayoko asked that tonight. What specifically? He said nothing. Get him out of here. Dominic says a game against the 2 worst head coaches in the NFL. Yeah, I mean, Kyle lost to the worst head coach in the NFL tonight. So where does that make him? Grant, you should change your SB pick. Jimmy Garoppolo will lose. Yeah, I think that's kind of out the door now. Feeling really stupid for that one. Dylan says Jimmy doesn't feel like he's in game shape yet. Not enough chemistry. Didn't last week say it was like riding a bike and that, yeah, he had freedom. Funny. He can just say whatever. Niner Fan 85 says, did you see Kelsey saying Kittle doesn't get enough looks and basically implying he needs more looks, which I definitely agree. Kelsey knows Kittle is the best in the league. Do you know what Kittle would do if he were on like Andy Reid's team? Kyle Shanahan is so smart he can't get the ball to George Kittle. Joseph says Grant right about Jimmy Garoppolo like he was right about I hate to be right, but, you know, that's what I do for a living. 666 Nick Mafia says, Grant, we had 2 chances to get Brady. How long will that haunt us? Forever. Are you kidding? That's like the curse of the Bambino. You can't live that down. They also passed on Mahomes and Stafford. JR10 says, where's Flav? I want to hear the excuses. Where's Flav? Flav, we need to hear from you, buddy. We need to hear from you, Flav. Block Phil says, Alex Mack and Laken Thomas were Pro Bowlers, but we replaced them with garbage. Those alone should be fireable offenses. Yeah, the offensive line is really bad. Ricky Miranda says, Ken Dorsey was pissed after loss to the Finns and looks hungry to win. Do we go out and hire after offseason because this team smiles after losses? I would at least interview him. But you know what? Ken Dorsey's interesting. What about Sean Payton? How about a Super Bowl winner? Ken Dorsey for head coach. He can develop Trey. Possible. When the Niners hired Walsh, he hadn't been a head coach anywhere in the NFL. Where's Flav at to defend Jimmy? Yeah, a lot of people have nothing to say tonight. Kyle Shanahan drawn up plays for Trey Lance, quarterback sneak from the gun. So overrated, coach. M. Niner says we would have won if it weren't for Jimmy scoring for Denver. Dude, the Niners absolutely should have won this game. They found a way to lose this game. You should never lose when you hold a team to 9 points. Sway says SP as head coach or promote D'Amico to head coach and hire SP as OC. I don't think Sean Payton's going to be an offensive coordinator, but I do think D'Amico would probably stick around to win a Super Bowl with Sean Payton. Niners daddy says it's Purdy time. Kyle also needs to be fired. Let him finish the season. It's not like the Niners are going anywhere if they fire him and go with interim coach this year. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any. I'm getting really sick of Kyle's smugness, Grant. No, I love his smugness. I think he should be smugger. 808 Niners says, ask Kyle why he passed so much before Jimmy threw his awful pick. They were midfield and just needed a field goal. Thought he was a running team. Why does he make any decision he makes? What looked better, Trey's 10 in the rain or Jimmy's 10 tonight? Let's not forget that ITD was off an illegal pick route. Yeah, tonight was just a joke. Zachary Goldsmith says, give me Ken Dorsey next year or another offensive-minded head coach that will use Trey Lance like a quarterback and not a fullback. Hear, amen. Gregory Young says, how many times has Kyle Shanahan used Debo as play-action fake? Seems like every time he has him in the backfield, they give it to him. Everyone figured that out. Yeah, except for today. when they had Debo in the backfield and he ran and got one-on-one against Josie Jewell, smoked him, and should have been a touchdown, but Jimmy underthrew it. Okay, 32 yards. Go back to that. If you can get Debo Samuel lined up man-to-man against linebackers by putting him in the backfield, you should be throwing to him, not running with him. Do that again. I never understood that. But instead, Kyle ran Debo between the tackles in the last play of the first half. I feel so bad for the defense, man. Bosa's hot. Okay. Loner Incognito says, you think Kyle will feel the heat of his seat, and do you think he will change by it? He'll feel the heat, but he never changes. Antonio Monroy Jr. says at this point, buy Jimmy Kyle and start Purdy. We won't win with Kyle. He never makes adjustments, and he always chokes. RG3 repeat. He's predictable. This is such an RG3 repeat. He absolutely repeated history. Bunless Hot Dog. Where's Flav? All your detractors get proven wrong like you, and we don't know what we're talking about. Where you at, Flav? Pathetic. Go to the Rams-Niners game on Monday, says King Liner. Going to be my first game since 2015. First Jimmy game for me. Got any advice on how to brace for a Jimmy game? Don't tailgate. Be careful at the Rams game. Don't tailgate. Kittle would put up Wilt Chamberlain numbers in KC. Agree. Ricky Miranda says Ken Dorsey was pissed. Got you. Hold on. There's a few more that I missed at the bottom, and then we'll get back to my final topic. Then I got to fly home. G-Code says, should Kyle Shanahan have taken penalty to avoid Denver score field goal? Yes! Absolutely! It would have been like 3rd and 18. That Denver offense hadn't done anything all game. That was a terrible decision. Free Trey. Too late. Thank you, David. Last Second Sports says Kyle ran Debo to the end of the half. Dude doesn't learn. No, he doesn't learn. In fact, I think he takes pride in not learning. Oh, you don't like me running Trey between tackles? I'm going to do it with Debo. Cool, man. Jonathan says, this is why I had hope for Trey, and they ran him to the ground. Jimmy is the same guy. People are blind when it comes to Jimmy, and where are they silent? I have a feeling that Kyle's best days are behind him, kind of like Chip Kelly's best days are behind him. I have a feeling like his ace up his sleeve is gone, and Mike McDaniel, and his creativity is probably going to be gone too, and he's going to be running the same stuff for the next 10 years, kind of like Chip Kelly. CJ Crucial says, is Cam Newton a better backup? Yes! What happened to all that 11-on-11 football Kyle wanted to run? Why don't you call up Cam? He's better than Jimmy. Drew Down. Hey, Drew Down. Love Drew Down. Grant, love the content in your channel, but I was just interested in what are our chances against the Rams next week? Is our season over? No, the Niners match up really well against the Rams, but I think Kyle's going to have to make an adjustment and do something different on offense. The throw to Debo out of the backfield was different. That cutback run from Jeff Wilson Jr. was nice. Go back to that stuff. The last thought on my deathbed will be we could have had Brady, says Jacob. I hope that's not your last thought in your deathbed, but that's probably something Kyle's going to have to live with the rest of his life. Not probably. Where's Flav? Don't know. Ken Dorsey, hold on. Got you. Okay, I think I got them all. Nope. New one. This is very hard getting all these. Jeez. Okay. Nine fan says, I got PTSD from week 2 when Debo went down for a bit. He seems to do that a lot, right? $2. Thank you very much. Grant, who's responsible for O-line, Kyle or John? I mean, they both are. It's their team. They both are. But Grant, isn't this the Niners football the players wanted? Fire Jed Dork for Harbaugh debacle and horrible Levi's, and fire Kyle for Lance injury. Don't you think Harbaugh's laughing? Pretty sure Ken Dorsey played for the 49ers. He did play for the 49ers, and he's from Moraga. Wanderer says, I hope Jed has enough foresight to see that Kyle Shanahan will improve in the future, even if we get into the playoffs this year. Where is Jed, man? I'd love to know what he thinks of all this. We should hire D'Amico Rydes as head coach to keep this D. I don't know about that. Maybe. At least give him an interview. The thing with defensive coaches, you have to know who their offensive coordinator is going to be. Who you bringing to coach the offense and the quarterback. If it's not better than Kyle Shanahan, then it's hard to do that. Scotty P says Kyle Shanahan needs OC, someone to see from all 22 what's working, what's not, who's getting open, winning one-on-one, open holes. Someone like Mike McDaniel. Someone like Mike McDaniel. Is that what you're saying? I agree. Peyton Wisdom says, let Mitch Wishnowsky cook mid-season. Yeah. Ricky Miranda says, when I die, I hope the Niners lower me into my grave so I can be let down by them one last time. Nassim, thank you. That's funny. Got you. Okay, couple more. If this keeps happening, then this is going to be a repeat of 2020. Shake my head. BT Dub, where's Flav? Flav, waiting to talk to you. Anyway, Rick James says, are these your real Super Bowl winners now or way too early? What? The Niners? What are you talking about? I don't understand. T Breezy says, you were right about Kinlaw. He's slow and a bust. He had a nice pass break. He had a nice pass breakup on the 2-point conversion, though. He's not a great pass rusher, but he does break up passes. Thanks for being the goat at your job, Grant. Pimp on. I hope we can try and get a different QB soon. I tried, Drew Down. I tried to help, but people are so resistant to quality control. I told you, Grant, every time Jimmy throws, he wants to give us heart attacks. And what happened to Womack? Demo played well tonight, but Womack makes plays. I don't know. That was strange. I don't question D'Amico, though. Do you think we should have kept Mike McDaniels and made him the head coach, and Kyle should have gone to Miami? I bet you Jed's thinking that right now. Yes, I'm thinking that. But you know why Mike McDaniel got overlooked for 15 years? Because his last name isn't Shanahan. He's not a legacy. And he looks a little squirrely. Okay, well, names and appearances don't matter. It's frustrating to know we have a Super Bowl roster, but knowing Kyle will not run, being up 2 or more scores or ending up with a goofy Jimmy Garoppolo mistake, says Antonio. How many years we have to hear that the Niners have a Super Bowl roster before we realize they're not going to do anything with it? You know what I mean? Who cares if you have a Super Bowl roster? You don't have a Super Bowl coach or a Super Bowl quarterback, so you're going to waste it like we saw tonight.